Good evening, my name is Yvette Brooks, and I have the honor tonight to introduce myself as Kristen Brown's campaign manager for District 2 Supervisor. There is nothing like being in a room full of friends and family who support such a special person and very qualified candidate. So I am just so thrilled that all of you took your Sunday afternoon to come drink really good wine. Besides that, I also have the honor of introducing a fabulous other woman and colleague, community member, leader, Gayle Ortiz, who will share a few words about our candidate this evening. Gayle.
Yeah. Those of us in Capitola have known Kristen for years. We know her to be a knowledgeable, effective leader in Capitola. She has compassion. She has all the components. She has compassion. She's interested. She goes out and finds out the consensus of our community. We all love her. But what I didn't know about Kristen was everything that she's been doing in the county all these years, because we're sort of provincial in Capitola. So Kristen sent me this huge list of her accomplishments, committees and boards that she's served on, that she has led, and I'd like to give you just a small sampling. I won't give you all of them because we'll be here all night.
Okay.
Of course, it's City of Capitola Council member, former mayor, and current vice mayor, Community Action Board of Santa Cruz County, Santa Cruz Metro Transit District, Santa Cruz County Regional Transportation Commission, Santa Cruz County Sanitation District Board of Directors, Santa Cruz County Flood Control. I mean, where isn't she? Association of Monterey Bay Area Governments, AMBAG, Santa Cruz County Library Financing Authority member, Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary Advisory Committee. And as I said, those are just a few. She serves Santa Cruz County in so many different ways, and she's such a great representative. We are 100% behind her in Capitola, and I hope the whole district will do the same. So it's my great honor to introduce this really special candidate, Kristen Brown.
Yeah. Yvette, thank you all for being here today. I stand before you this afternoon with a profound sense of gratitude and purpose as we launch this campaign for Santa Cruz County Supervisor in District 2. It's an honor to see so many familiar faces and also new friends here in the crowd today. We are united by our shared commitment to this incredible community that we all call home. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge some of the elected officials and distinguished guests in the crowd. Of course, we just met former Mayor of Capitola, Gayle Ortiz. We have Capitola City Council member and former Mayor Yvette Brooks, who's also my campaign manager. We have former council member in Capitola, Jacques Bertrand, is here. I just saw Watsonville Mayor Eduardo Montesino walk in the door. We have Santa Cruz Mayor Fred Keeley here. We have several candidates, we also have Alexander Peterson from Capitola City Council here. I know I'm going to miss some people, so forgive me in advance if I miss you. We also have candidates here. We have Lonnie Faulkner running for 1st District Supervisor. Running for Santa Cruz City Council. We have Mike Termini, former mayor of Capitola, is here. And I know that I'm missing other people, so just know that I am so glad that all of you are here. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge my campaign committee members that are making this campaign possible. Peter Wilk, just raise your hand if I say your name. There we go, Peter. Jerry Jensen, Jerry's around here. Heidi Kellison, Barry Scott, and again, Yvette Brooks. And then I would be remiss if not to acknowledge my mom, Patty Peterson, and my grandma, Carolyn Ross. These two women, without a doubt, it is their influence that has led me to where I am today in pursuing public and community service, and honestly, everything that I have learned about anything is from these two women right here. And then finally, of course, I need to thank my husband, Nick, over here. It is truly an honor to be the recipient of the support and encouragement and celebration that he gives to me in every endeavor that I aspire to. So thank you, love. I am so grateful again to have you all here today and excited to share this journey. For those of you that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting before today, I'd like to take a quick moment to introduce myself. I'm a two-term Capitola City Council member, former mayor, current vice mayor, and fourth-generation Santa Cruz County resident from a family with a legacy of public and community service through our fire stations, our police departments, our school districts, local government agencies, and our local art scene. Like all of you, I share a common aspiration, and that is to spend the precious time we have in our hectic lives with our friends, our families, and our loved ones, and not trapped in traffic or worrying about the cost of housing or considering if we're going to be safe from the next fire or flood. I am deeply passionate about public service because it's a calling to make a positive difference in people's lives. It's about listening to your needs, understanding your challenges, and working tirelessly to find solutions. This passion stems from a genuine desire to make a better future for our community. I'm running for supervisor because I want to advance solutions to our county's most pressing challenges, specifically around housing, transportation, and climate change, interconnected issues that need to be addressed comprehensively. In many ways, I'm already doing this work. As former president of the Association of Monterey Bay Area Governments, I led the board through our regional housing needs assessment process and served on the Central Coast Housing Working Group. On the City Council, I've fought for rental assistance programs, eviction moratoriums, and measures to prevent homelessness during the COVID-19 pandemic. And this year, I successfully advanced mobile home rent stabilization in the city of Capitola, thus preserving affordable housing stock in the city. As supervisor, I can bring this experience to the table as we address our ongoing issues of housing affordability, supply, and homelessness, so that we can ensure that our locals remain local. I'm also experienced in addressing our transportation and transit needs. As the current vice chair of both the Metro Transit District and the Regional Transportation Commission, I've engaged in multimodal transportation improvements on our highways, roads, and transit services, and just this month voted in support of funding electric passenger rail project concept report. I've successfully advocated for an additional $500,000 for local road repair during budget negotiations, and have served for the past 2 years on the League of California Cities Transportation, Communication, and Public Works Policy Committee. In considering the importance of coastal conservation and addressing climate change, I've advocated for funding for local coastal resiliency projects and advanced strategies to address bluff erosion and wharf rehabilitation. I also serve, as mentioned, as a member of the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary Advisory Committee and promoted sustainable shipping programs. Now that you've heard some of what I've done, I want you to know what you can rely on me to do moving forward. As the 2nd District's representative to the Board of Supervisors, I'm committed to ensuring accessible and affordable housing options, improving our daily commute, relieving congestion, and investing in public transit, protecting our beautiful natural environment and addressing the impacts of climate change, fostering a thriving local economy and supporting sustainable growth that benefits us all, and embracing equity and inclusion at all levels so that we can empower the next generation of community leaders. I am ready to serve as your voice on the Board of Supervisors in District 2. I want to work hard on behalf of the District 2 residents as well as residents throughout the county. I am so grateful once again for all of you for being here today, and I invite you to reach out to share your ideas, your thoughts, and your vision for the future of Santa Cruz County. With that, I would like to pass the mic now to someone who knows firsthand what it means to be of service to the community. Someone who served for 8 years on the Board of Supervisors, 6 years in the California State Assembly, including time as the Speaker Pro Tem, and now is the first directly elected mayor in the city of Santa Cruz. Ladies and gentlemen, our friend, Fred Keeley.
Don't you be. Don't you be going anywhere.
No.
Get over here. Come on, this is about you, not about me. Come here. Get over here. Okay, that's okay. Close enough. Good afternoon, and thank you very much for including me. I find this to be a very exciting moment in our county's history. Let me also say hello to Supervisor Felipe Hernandez. Thank you. Thank you. And the reason I want to do that is, as was mentioned, my first elective job was as a county supervisor. But before that, we have something in common. I was Sam Farr's chief of staff when he was in California State Assembly. He was lucky to get rid of me at that point, but when he went to Congress, he really sort of stepped up the game and had you on his staff.
Once a staffer, always a staffer. That's what he says.
Yes. Let me just tell you how true that is. I will still get calls on Saturday mornings from Sam Farr saying, "Gee, I'm going over to the Salinas Farm Bureau. Do you have some talking points I can use?" I mean, I was your staff 30 years ago. Didn't want to bother his current staff. They were sleeping. But anyway, we come out of that Sam Farr world. Now, I just want to say a second about what that means to say we come out of the Sam Farr world. This is not the easiest way to live, is in elective life. It is always challenging. Is that right, Supervisor? Always. Whether it's the city, the county, it's always a challenge. And what happens in that environment is that you can't hide your character. It is not possible to do so. What happens is your character is on display all the time. And for those of us that came out of the Sam Farr world, we got about as good an upbringing as you can possibly get. Say whatever else you want to say about Sam Farr. I love him like crazy. What we all know about Sam is that Sam is deeply, deeply committed to people, to honesty, to integrity, to deep personal values. And we didn't get that from him, it brought it out in each of us. I suspect more you than me. But that's a great beginning for what you are trying to do now. I'll make this a couple other comments. One is, I walked into the county building as a county supervisor in January of 1989. And I have worked with, whether as a legislator, county treasurer, mayor of Santa Cruz, I've worked with literally dozens and dozens of Santa Cruz County supervisors over the year. And what I know is that we have a deep bond with each other. We are not the same thing. Cities are not small versions of county government. County government is not some big version of cities. Cities are municipal corporations. And as you know, and as you've done so brilliantly on the Capitola City Council, they are a lot about land use, they are a lot about public safety, they're about police and fire and planning and public works and parks and all these component parts. Counties are subdivisions of the state of California. You can't make a city go away. If the legislature wanted to come into session, they just got out of session, but if they wanted, they lost their minds, want to come into session again tomorrow morning, they can make Santa Cruz County go away. Counties are creatures of the state government. Cities are municipal corporations. What it means to be a county supervisor in this district is that all that experience she has as a city, when you're sitting in the unincorporated area of your district, you're the mayor. She's the mayor. She's delivering those services in the unincorporated area of this district. Parks, planning, public works, sheriff's office, fire protection, etc. So it's very important and helpful, not essential, helpful and important to have someone who comes out of city government, understands it well, because in that unincorporated area, that's what you look and feel like is there. Now I'll tell you, I've worked with, as I say, dozens of county supervisors, hundreds of state legislators, dozens of city council members over your kindness in allowing me to serve in public office. I've met less than a dozen people. All of those people they're not all wonderful. Many of them are wonderful. Many of them are wonderful. But I can list a dozen of those who I've worked with who are spectacular, who have an open and good heart, who have a very finely tuned mind, who understand public policy in its depths and nuances and sophistication, how to make change, how to make positive change. And what our wonderful candidate said earlier are her priorities. You know those are the priorities of this district. You don't have to, nobody here had to pause and say, as she was saying that, I wonder if that's exactly right. She knows the district because she is of the district. Not somebody parachuting in. Not somebody who's doing this because, gee, it's just the next thing to do. It's a commitment to public service in a very, very positive, honorable, ethical, value-driven way. So even though I'm not a constituent, I consider myself in the broadest definition of a constituent because how the 4 cities make progress on housing, transportation, and climate change that the gentlelady mentioned to us are her priorities. Those happen to be the priorities of the 4 cities as well. And what we can do together is literally more. The sum is greater than these individual parts. It is a great honor to stand here, to endorse Kristen, to ask you. I suspect when you walked in here, you couldn't avoid that table over there, which asked you to sign up to volunteer and put up a yard sign, maybe host something at your house, and contribute some money. Here's what I know about that part of things. What I know about that, and you all know this from the Measure D campaign on the rail trail a year and a half or so ago. It's not all about money. That is a very cynical view of politics and campaigns. But what I do know is that without the resources necessary to prosecute a campaign at every level, on the ground, in social media, in direct mail, all of the component parts in a modern campaign in this county in 2023 and 2024 have to be present. You can't do this doing 1 or 2 of those. Now my guess is our candidate's going to work harder than anybody. And a lot of you are going to work harder than you've ever worked before. And she'll still work harder. And that, we can say, gives us all great comfort. Gives us motivation to do our part. One thing we can't do is we can't be the candidate. But what we can do is support the heck out of the candidate. So in addition to your yard sign you'll put up, in addition to hosting something at your house, meet your neighbors, please today, please, make a stretch contribution at this point. This election is going to be here faster. You will not believe how quickly this election is here. We don't any longer have election day. We have a 30-day rolling election in California. So for Kristen to be able to have all the wherewithal to take this wonderful person and put it into social media and direct mail, yard signs and coffees, we need your help. I'm proud to max out today. I would ask you to do the same thing, and God love you and congratulations.
Again, thank you so much for being here. We are incredibly grateful. I just wanted you to be here. You've done so much work. Yvette has done so much work as my campaign manager, and I want to make sure to recognize her in that regard. I know. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Please don't hesitate to reach out at any time. I'd love to hear from each and every one of you. Thank you again. Take care.